Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about a very dangerous weather pattern that is currently unfolding across the United States. This thing is regarding, the pattern, I'm talking about pretty much the heat. Incredible heat that is breaking records across areas like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and I'm sure if you're, anything in touch with the news, you've seen the record-breaking temperatures across, especially London or the UK, France, into Germany as well. Much of Europe is absolutely steaming under this heat, and so are really parts of the United States. And I want to talk about why this is so concerning and why this really isn't going anywhere and could be accompanying us well into the fall. So let's get started about this. So first off, I just want to go over, why this is so extreme. Notice first off these blaring oranges and pinks right here. Further up north, we do have some scattered heat advisories, heat warnings across New York City. We do have a heat advisory. That is not a high-end heat warning. Though it definitely indicates that there are some dangerous temperatures, 96, 95, that is definitely warm. And do note that right here we have the kind of epicenter of this. Let's click on Oklahoma City, and let's see, that's the biggest city in Oklahoma, and so it makes sense. I just click on it, notice 105, right, excessive heat warning. Later on, while it does expire Wednesday night, Thursday there's a little bit of a break with 99, and then Friday 100 and 101, so you can't really call that much of a break. And you can see later on these temperatures just keep on going. And the thing is, very low chances of thunderstorm in the next few days, if any at all, and then in the future pretty much nothing at the window. So a drought is pretty much going to explode across this area. There is already pretty bad drought across Texas that will continue to worsen, and that is inevitable, because even if you saw pretty much daily rain with such heat, that would probably just keep the drought at bay, wouldn't really make things better. But in this case, you could see the midweek chances, they are there, they are very slim, 20%. So really kind of pathetic. And again, 1 day out of 7 days isn't going to bring enough rain to cool this or make this, the hydrologic issues better. Notice 107, that's where the heat warning kind of gets issued. 100, still very warm, but you can see there's nothing issued for that. But later on in the forecast, in the future, it gets warm again, potentially, into the mid to upper 100 and, 110, potentially, even more. Further southwest, we do have, I believe, excessive heat watches. So this is the potential in the future. This isn't a current warning. Let's just click on right there, Kingman, just east of Kingman, and notice that here also pretty hot temperatures. And in the future, at least here, it does seem to cool off, as maybe some monsoons help with that. And yeah, elsewhere, warm as well. I mean, here in my area, it's 90, right? So you're definitely not horrible, but definitely warm for our area. And let me show you the continuation of this pattern. So right now we are dealing with anomalies that are, you can see, pretty far into the chart right there. Definitely very, very warm, and you can see that's why all the watches are getting issued. Notice that this continues. While we do have pockets of cool air, the warm pockets are way, way more extensive right there. Notice a lot of heat. That is because of a break in the monsoons, and that is where we have that excessive heat watch issued for the next into Wednesday and Thursday. Do note that the East Coast continues to get kind of burned by that, not extensively, as the anomalies won't be as ridiculous. Further inland, you can see coastal areas could get a bit kind of the worst of it on Friday. Again, I don't really want to go day by day. I just want to show you the progression of this general pattern. Notice on this upcoming weekend, Saturday, the extreme anomalies shift into Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota. Again, these temperatures will be absolutely scorching hot, mid to upper hundreds, I guess 110s, right? So 109, that's what I mean, 107, 108, 109, extreme heat. And notice further south, also very, very warm. And let's go back to the anomaly graph. Again, this is the GFS. This is just one type of model, but really the models are in pretty good agreement regarding the heat. Notice that there is going to be a cool-off for those areas later on, so that's good. But look, just south of that, now it's time for the Ohio Valley and Pennsylvania and New York to get in on this. And that's the thing with this, that there will be several areas that seem to get hit hard, meaning the south-central U.S., and other areas will get hit hard and then kind of a little break. Notice right there, Kansas, an extreme anomaly that shifts to the north, hits Iowa for 1 or 2 days, and then moves on. So at least that's that it's relatively progressive. And notice that in the mid to long range, it could be a pretty good lobe of cool air that moves in, provides some relief to the upper Midwest, but really it doesn't go far south. And look what starts happening across the Northwest. Extreme heat anomalies there. These are some ridiculous temperatures for those areas as well. This may not look impressive, but 85, 84, that's very warm for this area. And of course, the south being in the heat, but that's still more usual than what we're seeing up here because of how cool usually the summers are there. So that's that. Notice that as I put this forward, we do have a cooler air mass that does provide relief finally for these areas, Oklahoma, Texas. But honestly, that does not seem long-lived. And you can see the heat bounces right back in, and these little pockets, these little anomalies right there. Look at that, potentially 10 to 20 degrees above average across there in South Dakota. The Southwest heating up, cooler air towards the north. But you can see that's really the heat dominating most of the United States, while that stays up towards the north and rather limited in terms of its extent. And I mean, look at this. Look at those colorations right there. That is just ridiculous. And if you take a look at the 2 mirror temperature shaded, just to see some of these temperatures, I mean, these are temperatures that you don't often see in these areas at this level. So that is that. I want to show you, the European, for those that want to see that and completely ignore the GFS, even though the GFS does a pretty good job with these temperatures. Let's run it through. Again, you can see a very, very large anomaly mass right now across the south central United States and the northeast where the watches are issued. It will start heating up towards the midweek across the southwest, which is why those heat watches are issued as we were looking at earlier. And look, into the midweek, next week, still very warm, now a bit more even north than what it is currently. Some of these anomalies, again, are very, very strong. Definitely there will be heat warnings issued for, several areas. Thankfully, it doesn't look too extensive for any given area other than this area that I'm kind of going over with my cursor. But that doesn't really help that much because the rain will be kind of limited anyways. So even a few days of heat could definitely throw that off. And look at the Northwest, the European showing even stronger anomalies than what the GFS were showing. I mean, that literally breaks almost off the chart in terms of the anomalies right there. Seeing widespread hundreds across Oregon right there. That is not good and definitely record breaking. So as we move forward, I just want to show you that these anomalies really don't subside across the northwest and southwestern Canada, and elsewhere across the United States. Maybe they take a little breather, but again, it does start warming up as this air mass moves further east. So yeah, that is definitely going to be something we'll have to watch for. Wildfires here are just going to be probably rampant. If it's dry and hot across Oklahoma, there aren't many forests, so there's probably going to be brush fires and drought, agricultural issues here. Probably agricultural issues as well and drought, but also extreme wildfires as these areas are very forested, unlike much of the plains and whatnot. So that is that. I do want to go over the Storm Prediction Center the next few days. So tonight there's a threat for much of the upper Midwest right here. Slight, so nothing incredible, but let's go over it. The main risk being wind, you can see, and hail as well. And those will be kind of developing into the night. Into Wednesday, you can see it's across Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky, maybe extreme western West Virginia, and extreme southeastern Michigan. Main threats would be wind and hail again, but I guess according to this, mainly wind. And Thursday, we do have more slight risk areas across the upper northeast and further south here. Again, it's too far out to go into the different threats, but you can see it's a slight, so definitely something to look out for. And that is basically all I wanted to show you. I could run you down through the GFS because this actually, I want to show you how little precipitation in some of these areas where the hottest temperatures will be, especially Texas, according to the latest GFS model run, will be getting pretty much nothing. And even right there, an inch of precip across Oklahoma with these temperatures is really not going to do much, unfortunately. You'll notice the Southwest, according to the GFS, will be continuing to get a lot of rain. Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, so that is definitely not bad news. And that is, I guess, a silver lining of this pattern. A good monsoon season. The past models, the one for today at noon, you can see showed very similar scenarios. Look at that. I mean, some of those water, I guess, amounts that could fall across the Southwest here in the next 15 days are actually kind of concerning. That's probably a bit too much. Notice the previous one was a bit more buoyant with the rain across the Midwest. It goes on and off. Some show a bit less, some show a bit more, but overall, not a terribly wet pattern, though definitely not a completely dry pattern either. But again, with such hot temperatures, we need a very wet pattern in order to kind of offset that, which unfortunately we're not going to really be seeing. And notice we do have a lot of activity that's kind of stays to the north of where it's the hottest. The monsoons pretty much every day just going on, so that is definitely something to also take note of. And that may not necessarily be a good thing in terms of, if it's very hot and you see thunderstorm strikes a tree or whatnot, starts a wildfire, that's definitely going to increase the risk. But I guess you could also say that if there's a fire, you could get a rain, and that could kind of help extinguish it. But we'll see. For now, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. See ya. Bye.